Investigators are already convinced that one of their own, police officer Ray McCann, murdered 11-year-old Jodi Parrack and dumped her body in the local cemetery.
I'm telling you, our investigation shows you're involved in her death. Now, it was either on purpose or it was accidental.
And now they're desperately trying to get him to confess.
Why don't you tell me what happened?
I don't know what happened to her. We could sit here all night, guys. I do not know what happened to her. We could sit here for hours and hours. I can get fired from my job. But I do not know what happened to her. I did not find her. I did not put her there. I'm not going to admit something I didn't have part of. You know? I'm not going to admit that. You guys can do all your talking, but you know what? I did my job that night. I did not have part of and whatever happened to her.
But investigators persist.
We've been talking to you for your explanation. This was your opportunity. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's my opportunity, but I am not admitting to something I didn't have part of, okay? Yeah, you guys, I've been treated like hell ever since this case started. My family's been treated like I lost my job here at the police department, you know, and it's continued for something that I have no control over. You know, I love being a police officer.
We didn't make the lies up, Ray.
No, I'm not lying. I had nothing to do with this damn case.
We didn't make the inconsistencies. We didn't make them up. You did.
This is nothing against you guys. I respect you totally, okay? And Brian, I respect you. But I had nothing to do with this.
Officer McCann won't crack, and police don't have enough evidence to charge him with Jodi's murder.
You're free to leave. You know these doors aren't locked. You know. You're free to leave, dude.
And he does.
You know which way you're going?
Only to later be charged with 5 counts of perjury. One of them alleging this security video from the local dam proved that he hadn't gone there searching for Jodi the night of her murder, like he told detectives. And he's ultimately sentenced to 20 months to 20 years in prison. Police content to know that at least the man they believe killed Jodi is locked up.
When you combine everything that's gone on around him, the inconsistent statements, his actions, the behaviors, just didn't add up.
But then something happens that stops investigators dead in their tracks. While McCann is still locked up, another little girl is attacked in a neighboring town.
I almost got killed.
10-year-old Mackenzie Stafford is riding her bike just like Jodi when she's approached by an elderly neighbor.
He asked me if I can go in his garage and help him, and I said sure. He asked me to kind of put tools in his box because he said his back was hurting.
Then he attacks.
All of a sudden he pulls me back and just grabs me. He said, "Shut up or I'll kill you." Then he grabs me by my mouth, and then he tries to pull a knife out.
And as he's trying to close the garage door,
I just turned around and kicked him and punched him.
he then grabs a knife and slashes at Mackenzie.
I think, wow, I'm gonna die.
But the brave little girl miraculously escapes with only a minor knife wound to her torso, as well as some bruises and abrasions on her arms and shoulders. And Mackenzie leads police investigating Jodi's murder right to the door of 65-year-old Daniel Furlong.
He was not on our radar until she came along. She's the one that broke the case. She absolutely is.
Then lab tests come back. Furlong's DNA is a match with the DNA found on Jodi's body.
And then at that point, we placed him under arrest for Jodi Parrack's murder.
Furlong would admit to police he planned on killing Mackenzie too.
What would have happened if she hadn't gotten away from me?
Probably an income like Jodi happened. But I'm not a serial killer, if that's what you think.
Furlong again swears Jodi was his sole victim.
Well, I'm not taking the fault for the other girl, I'll tell you that now.
But Furlong would tell in sickening detail how he murdered Jodi after laying in wait for her.
What were you ready for?
Probably a sexual encounter.
Okay. Tell me about that. Tell me why that was going through your head. And be honest.
I just wanted to have sex.
Furlong says, like Mackenzie, Jodi Parrack came riding by his home on her bike.
And I asked this girl to come over to help me move some stuff. She got off her bike, came up to the house.
Then Furlong says he grabbed Jodi, threw her onto some steps in the rear of the house, and bound her hands behind her back with zip ties.
That's when I dragged her into the garage.
Furlong tells detectives Jodi began pleading with him.
She said, please let me go, let me go. I said, honey, I can't let you go right now.
He says he then put her in a boat he kept in the garage, climbed in with her, and undid her blouse.
And then I started playing with her and stuff. She didn't resist or nothing like that.
Did she say anything to you?
Yeah, she did. She said, stop, stop. She said, I'll come back. Well, in my mind, I thought, yeah, you know.
You knew you were in big trouble if you let her go.
Yep. So that's when I thought, no, I'm not going to let this happen.
He tells detectives he then tied a plastic bag around Jodi's head.
I did pull the strings around like this with the handles of the bag around the back of her neck.
Andy says her body finally went limp.
That's when she passed out.
Furlong says he left the bag tied around Jodi's head as he dragged her out of the boat, put her in his truck, and took her to the cemetery near her home.
She was probably dead by the time I got her in the cemetery.
He says he dragged Jodi's body from the truck and laid her to rest at somebody else's grave.
Took the bag off her face and got the wire ties. Lay her on the ground. I put it like lay her on the ground.
Next, Raymond McCann, the guy who cops originally thought killed Jodi, sits down with Crime Watch Daily for an exclusive interview.
I think I was being railroaded from the get-go.
He appears to have finally been exonerated in Jodi's murder.
Obviously, I'm happy. I'm thinking, okay.
That is, until he's then suspected of knowing Furlong.
I was still being accused of being part of it. You know, I didn't even know his name until, I was in prison when it, I was told there.
But many, including Jodi's mother, still wouldn't accept that he was innocent.
I still believe that he was involved somehow.